Hello, everyone. Kim from K&RP here. It's a cloudy Friday afternoon. It is currently 23 degrees Celsius with a humidex of 25, 73 degrees Fahrenheit with a 77%, 77 degrees with the humidex. Wow, I'm just, having a day. Today is Friends on Friday. I don't know if anybody wants to come up and join me. Give me a shout if you would like to join. I will send you the link. Hey, Belinda, welcome. So today what I'd like to do is I would like to make tags, journal tags, whatever, gift tags, things that you use tags on. Hey, Teresa, welcome. So I pulled out just a regular manila tag, and of course I've got tags with stuff on them ready to go so that what can I do with them? I can decorate them and use them the way I like, or in whatever journal thing I like to do. So I do my prompt cards. They have 10 prompts on them. So your mask is now a paperclip. Excellent. That mask turned out really nice. Both of you did really nice masks. Belinda was nice enough to share hers with me in a message. So, yeah. Okay, so I use these as my prompt cards. So we will know what all the 10 prompts are before we even start. But we do them in order. I just roll the dice, and that's the number that we start on. So I'm just going to flip them around and give them a bit of a mix up. You guys having a good day? Hope you're having a good day. Can you hear me? Okay. I also have it on my YouTube channel, right? At the same time, so I had to mute that. So I don't hear myself through the speakers. So it's been a day, Belinda. It's been a day. Learned last night that one of my oldest friends, we've been friends since we were about 14, 15 years old, passed away last week. Actually, another friend, same length of time, messaged me and said, hey, did you see what her son posted? But, we've been out of touch big time since the pandemic. We do play games online. We have chatted online. We don't talk on the phone much. She wasn't well, so I didn't want to phone and wake her up. And there was a lot of things. It just, anyway, it's okay. Thanks. It was just a rough one. So learned that last night. Then I FaceTimed a friend on Messenger. We did a face-to-face chat, and I let him know. So yeah, it's been a day, but it's actually a wonderful day. I've got my grandson here for the weekend. I have to make sure I get him to work on time. He's got to be at work at 4:30. So fed him and should be good to go. Okay, so I've kind of shuffled them up. Give me a number between 1 and 15, and I'm going to count out cards, and that's the number I'm going to pull. 12? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the number card we're using. Okay, now I need a number between 1 and 10 so that we know what number we're going to start on, or, not turn it over. Need a number hanging in the balance. 6. Okay, we're starting on number 6, which is bling. So these are the prompts. We're going to start with bling, and then flower, and then a stencil, book, edge, outline, watercolor, stitching, marble roll. Oh, at the very end, that's going to be very interesting. And a stamp. So we're starting with bling. So I've got 3 tags. Let's see what I'm going to do. Let's start with, you can always add more after. So I think I'm going to start with, this is glitter paint. So as far as I'm concerned, glitter is bling. Yes, no? You guys agree? So this is one of those Crayola glitter paint things. Comes with a brush. So you just kind of push it down, give it a bit of a squeeze, and smoosh it around. So I'm just going to do this for the backgrounds, because there's going to be all kinds of stuff on top of it. It's a great way to use glitter, I tell you. It sticks really nice with this paint. I'm going to do the whole backgrounds. All right. So now you could use any kind of bling you want. You can use sequins. You could use glitter. You could use diamond dots. Thanks, Teresa. I'm glad you feel that way. Did you manage to watch my entire walk through my yard yesterday? I didn't. I wanted the live chat. Good morning, Jean Peter. How are ya? So we're doing tags, 10 prompts on a tag, and our first prompt was bling. Our next one is flower. So I used glitter paint because I could. So I didn't really get to see a lot of the comments yesterday, Teresa, because, oh, look, I'm covered in glitter. Woo, fairy dust. Because the glare on the screen, I couldn't read it. I caught little bits, so I don't know what anybody was saying. I did a walkthrough of my yard yesterday, Jean, and I was testing out to see what devices worked out in the yard, because I'd like to do some streams from the greenhouse. Oh, thank you. It's actually not a door, because it's not a door, but it could be a door. That's why I painted the mural on it. Okay, so obviously this stuff is drying because we've got some roly-poly happening here. Okay, so the second one, since we started at 6, the next one's a flower. Well, I just happened to make a bunch of flowers yesterday. Was it yesterday? Day before? When was I? I can't even remember. It's been a crazy couple of days. Yeah. It's in dire need of a repaint. I should have done it last year, but I think I'm actually going to get exterior paint this time to do the door. You made roses. That's excellent. Excellent, excellent. So I have these little wobble cut flowers. I'm going to use the wobble cut flowers. If you don't know how I do my wobble cut flowers, I'll show you quickly. Maybe. You guys know how I do these things. We take a hunk of painted paper. Doesn't matter. Cut off a hunk. We do the Oh, thanks, Jean. I'm glad you made it. Welcome, welcome. So I've got this little piece of paper. Yeah, it's not level. We know I just fold it up and I'm going to wobble cut it. But I'm going to make sure that I cut on the smallest side so that all of them get. So I fold it. We're going to have 8 little flowers. And then we just kind of wobble, cut a circle, because that's the way it works. Because you know what? To be honest with you, I find this faster than cussy cutting. So now I've got these little things that I just kind of like little hunks of paper. We'll just doodle on them to make a flower. So there will be 8 because I folded it in 8. You can fold it any way you want. You could have 4. You could have 6. I just like to, it's just easy for me to do 8s. Green Bic gel pen. Green? Oh, here we go. Black Bic gel pen, 0.7. Aw, sorry to hear that, Jean. Never fun having one of those in the summer. So we're going to make a black dot in the center of each of these. One black dot in the center of each of these wobble cuts. I don't know what else to call it. Hence wobble cut. You guys know what I mean. I can't cut a straight line, so I might as well do this. Do it this way. Okay, black dot in the center. So then I'm just going to take the same black pen and I'm going to draw lines, 4 lines, 4 petals. You could do 5, you could do 6, you could do whatever you like. I'm doing 4 just for the sake of doing it to show you guys what I do. These will all have 4. And I don't do them straight across from each other. It's a flower. You want it to look like a flower. So 4 lines radiating from the black dot that you put in the center. Hello, not this guy. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so we've got the wobble cut flower. We've got the black dot in the center. We've got 4 black lines radiating out from it. Hey, Raul, welcome, hon. Now we're just going to take the same black gel pen and we're just going to do some lines coming out from that black dot to look like stamen kind of things. Enhance the black lines. And I'm going to call that a flower. You could add some white to the edge if you want. You could... Oh, thanks, Jean. Yeah, I had fun doing those cat faces. Those turned into page tabs. I don't even know where I put them. They might still be on the scanner, actually. So you can outline it in a white gel pen. I'll show you what that looks like. I have a white gel pen. I really do. Someplace. I didn't get a chance to clean my desk. It's just been a day. Did it fall on the floor? I don't know. Okay. There it is. Okay, white gel pen, Signo, you know. Can we read that? I don't have my glasses on. Hey, Sherry, welcome, hon. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so this is a Signo Uniball, and the number is in yellow, and I can't read it, but I think it's I don't know, it's a yellow number. It's a wider one. It's not like a really, really fine gel pen. Come on. Oh, and this one is empty. Of course. We can't do things easy. Well, I'll just take another one because I can. And as soon as I do that, I will find the one that I want. Okay, again, Signo. I can't read the yellow lettering. So we're just going to go around the outside with a wobble line. Wobble lines, wobble cuts. Just to give it a little bit of definition. Whoa! Definition. Let's do this one because I put the lines, the stamen lines in. Oh, I'm having a day. Hey, Dana, welcome, hun. How you doing? So we're doing the 10 prompts. The first prompt was bling. These are the prompts we're going to be doing. We're going to do them in order, but I like to give everybody the list so that you can kind of plot it out if you're playing along. The first one was bling, then flower, and then stencil, book, edge, outline, watercolor, stitching, marble roll, and a stamp. So I need flowers, so I was just showing you how I do my little wobble cut flowers. These ones aren't done. I'm going to use these yellow ones, and I'm just going to glue a flower in a corner because I still have all these other ones to put on, and I kind of like to plot. So I'm just going to glue these down. I used glitter paint as my bling. You can use whatever you like. And so, as I said, I'm using just one regular manila tag, and then I've got these ones. This is a piece of cardstock with some, paint doodle things on it. I stenciled a little bit of paint on the edges to make it look, because I didn't know what I was going to use it for. I did put leaves on that. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I have a flower on each of them. Now I need a stencil. Not sure what kind of stencil I'm going to use or what color paint. I think for the stencil, I just might want one with shapes instead of something with lots of other stuff. Because when it comes this early on in the list, I figure if I had put down shapes, I've got this. What is this? This is a Rapid Design Ellipse, and it says 30%. And I guess that's a 2-inch, 1¼ inch, and these are ovals. So this is an ancient thing. This was my dad's. I'm going to use it to make marks because. And instead of using paint, why not just use it? Okay, I need to just wipe up some of this wet stuff that I have here because it's not drying. Oop, I took some of the paint off, but it's okay. It's okay. So as I say, instead of using paint, because I've got marble roll later on, and that's going to be pretty wild, I'm just going to draw outlines of ovals with my black Bic gel thing. So let's start with an oval here, an oval there. Let's do a whole oval here. One like this, because that counts as a stencil. So I've got 4. Let's do an odd number because that's more pleasing to the eye. So that's stencils on the first tag. How about if I just do a row of stencils all the same size up the side of this tag? Not really. I don't measure, guys. You guys know that. I don't measure. I just go and I wing it. Because I can. Nice. Excellent, Jean. Thanks for coming in, hun. I appreciate that. I showed my junk dolls to my youngest grandson yesterday. He just kind of looked at me. He's like, okay, that's fine. So just a row of ovals up the side. We don't have to go all out. And how about this one? Let's just do one big oval in the middle, and I will consider that as stencil done. Anyone agree? Disagree? I think it's in the center. Do I care? Not really. Okay, stencil's done. Woohoo! Now I have to do book. So I can use book page. I can use those little books that I did the other day. Should I use the little books from the other day? Or book page, or have to go grab a book page. Nope. Although, no, let's grab a book page. We're going across to the back 40 here. Book page, book page. Mini books. Okay, I can do the mini books for sure. They are in this bin here. So then what I'll do is I'll just make kind of like a little stack of books on corners. Just pile them up. So all those little bits you saw me cutting the other day, I turned them into my mini books. So I've got like lots and lots of little pieces of because the crazy lady doesn't throw out anything, right? Okay, so we need something kind of, we'll stand one up in the corner, maybe one or two. We'll have like a leaning pile against it. And do I have another one that's just back? This one? Just putting a little bit of white Elmer's glue on to stick things down. Anybody got big plans for the weekend? Anybody want to come on with me? Anybody here want to come on and play live? Oh, these are all in very similar colors. I need something different, a little bit wild. Let's use this red one. Okay, I've got one with mini books. That's a one. Yeah, I don't really have too much plans either. I'm hoping the weather stays reasonable so that I can go and do some weeding. The yard really needs a good weeding. Well, one of my flower beds needs a really good weeding. You know, I'm going to slide that over. And then I'm going to take this little one. Of course, I know the majority of you guys won't have mini books. So this last one I will do with book page. Because you interpret these prompts any way you like and what you have on hand. So that's 2 with mini books. And this one I'm going to use book page. So I just had an old paperback, ripped a couple of pages out. I don't want the white edge. I'm just going to put it across like that. Because this is only the 3rd prompt, we know that there's going to be a lot of stuff on top. So I'm just going to take this big hunk of book page and put it in the middle. And the other stuff will cover it if there's, and then we could always embellish it by doodling on it. Because even though we're going to have 10 prompts, this is just the bases, right? You can always, when you're looking for a focal point, add a focal point. You're not limited. Okay, so that was book. Now we have edge. So most people would use ink. I use marker usually, or I use paint. So how about today, instead of any of that stuff, I use edge and border, kind of the same thing, but to me an edge is when you take something and you go along the edge of your tag card. All I've got is white paint. Let's edge it in white. That could be fun. It could be fun. And normally I would water this down, so I'm just going to put a little drop of glue. No, paint. This is paint, Kim, not glue. I've got a spritzy water thing. Get that wet. So it's more of a wash than anything. And then I have no, I don't. It was here. I had a hunk of wood with felt on the end there. No, that's not it. I know what I'm looking for. This one. I've got this handy dandy. It's got felt on the edge, so I'm going to use that like other people use their makeup brushes and distress inks, So I'm just going to get it wet, and I'm just going to go around the edge with white, because on this one it's not going to show as much as it will on the manila or the book page. It's kind of spattery because I use so much water, but that's okay. Don't know how well you can see that. I've actually found, me who is not a big fan of white, I like white edged pages. I find them interesting. And I guess, if I'd have read this, and if I wasn't doing it in order, maybe I would have edged the books before I put them down. You don't have to follow my rules. I don't care if you follow my rules. I just hope you're playing along or doing your own thing, of course. And as I say, this is really bizarre, but I edged something else in white just recently, and it was like, wow, that's really kind of cute. All right. So I'm just going to go over it quick to make sure there's no real puddles so that it will dry fast. so we can get on with the show. And the last one. Hey, Tina, welcome, welcome. We're doing prompt along today on tags. Going to do 10 prompts on tags. So the prompts so far were bling. So I used glitter paint. Then flower. So I put a little flower on each. Then stencil. So I stenciled ovals. And then book. So I used book page. Plus I've got like my little mini books that I do. And the one we just finished was edge. So I just edged with white paint. Let's move these leaves out of the way. Okay, so now we've got outline. So I am going to outline the books and the flowers. Again, Bic, gel pen, black. So I'm going to outline the books. And the flower. Punches it out a little bit when you outline. I like to outline things, but I think that comes from my folk art days when I did a lot of folk art. Darn near everything was outlined then. So sometimes I outline, sometimes I don't. It depends on what I'm doing. When I do my floral cards with all the little collage bits, I outline the bits. One more, this one. I'm not going to outline this. I will do the flower. Whoops, drew on it. You know what? That's okay. You can draw on if you know, doesn't matter. Does not matter. Okay, outline, watercolor now. Oh. Well, I don't have like watercolor paints as such. Like I don't have like the cakes of watercolor. I don't have watercolor tubes. My girls were taking a watercolor class, so I gave them all my watercolors thinking, oh, you're not going to need them. Of course. So what I do have are these, again, look, Crayola. I've got Crayola brush pens, and they are, I've got tempera paints too. So I do have watercolors. I lied. But we're going to just use these because I've got them. So if you have watercolor paints in tube form or watercolor paints in cake form, or if you don't have watercolor paints or even these kinds of things, what you can do is you take a Crayola marker and you scribble it on a piece of plastic. Then you take one of these Q-tips or cotton ball things, and normally I would dip it in water, but I didn't think to bring a glass of water today. So I'm just going to get it wet, and you dip it in that, and you've got watercolor. Got watercolor. So I'm going to use that to color this book page. And then I'm going to use these on the other ones. Because who's to say I you do it your way. I'm just showing you some options. Hey, Kel, welcome, hon. Nice to see you. So we're doing a 10 prompt on a tag. These are the prompts. We started with, what did we start with? Bling. So I used glitter paint. Then it was a flower, so I used flowers. Stencils, I just traced ovals with a stencil because it's so early on. Might as well. Then it was book, so I've used book page in some of my little books. Edge, I edged it with white paint, like instead of ink or whatever. Then it was outlined, so I outlined the flowers in the books. And now is watercolor. So I just showed how to use Crayola markers as a watercolor. And for the other ones, I have these Crayola paint pens, which is a tempera paint. They're a brush. So I'm just going to see now I've got this all wet because I sprayed, and I'm going to keep my hand in it because that's the way I roll. At the top of this oval, I'm just going to do a swirly thing like this and just outline. And I know that the last one is marble roll and then stamp. So this won't necessarily show, but that's okay. I know it's there. You know it's there. So I used watercolor on this, and I used watercolor on that. And let's use some green watercolor on this and just do, I can't even open them. How are kids supposed to do this? Oh, that's right, Kel, it's your birthday tomorrow. Yay, yay, yay. Just going to do some curly lines, maybe just a couple of little leaf things. They kind of look like leaves. I'm not fussy. Okay, there's my watercolor. Do, 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 do. Now we've got stitching. I hope you have a wonderful I hope I'm talking too fast. My mouth doesn't keep up with my brain. I hope you have a wonderful birthday tomorrow, Cal. I really, really do. Stitching. Stitching, stitching. Let's grab. So when I stitch on cards or paper, I like to use a bigger needle to poke holes as a rule because it just makes it easier for me. And I use a piece of, um, this packing foam stuff. Do you have big plans for your birthday tomorrow, Cal? So since I've got this purple yarny string stuff on here, I'm just gonna, since I poked all the holes, can you see the holes? Oh, you're going live with Stacy? That's awesome. Oh, pot of tea. I made a pot of tea. Did I bring any down with me? No. Okay, so I'm just going to do like a running stitch back and forth through these holes. I'm going to leave a long end because maybe I want to put a bead on there or something. So I'm not pulling it tight because we don't want to rip anything. So I'm just going up and down through the holes. Am I going too fast, guys? You're going to be deleting felting? I was kind of thinking, wait a minute, I bet she means felting. Gotta love that autocorrect. Yay! Oh, see, now I like to have my threads coming out on top as a rule. So I'm going to put another hole in here just so that the thread comes out on top. Because like I say, then I can tie things into it, or so I don't know how well you'll be able to see this stitching because it's a very pale purple on, like you can see the back. So you know I did it. You watched me do it. And you see the string sticking out. But it's kind of hard to see. So that's one. So on this one, maybe right in the center of this thing here, I'm just going to do a strip. I'm going to try to do a French knot. Not sure that's going to work, but we'll try. So I have just learned to do French knots. This one, the thread will be on the back. So I'm just going to have to hold it tight. Now that I know how to do French knots, I do them on darn near everything because it's fun. 5, you wrap it around 5 times. You go back into the same hole, or as close to it as you can. And you pull it tight. You get just a nice little French knot. Can we see? Am I in focus? One little French knot. So that's stitching. It says stitching. You don't have to go all out 200 degree, And I'm just going to put a little drop of glue. That's why I call it auto corrupt, Kel, because it just doesn't play nice. I'm just putting a dab of glue on that to hold it in place because I didn't tie any knots. I'm just going to smear that down a little bit to hold that yarn down because I'd like it to be as flat as possible because it's the back of a tag. I don't know if I'm going to end up covering the back. Probably though, because I can see I've got a little bit of glitter paint on the back. And by the time I've finished marble rolling, it could be quite the mess. So one more needs some stitching. I think I'm just going to use regular thread. But I think I want something other than white. What have I got? What have I got? My hands are nice and mucky, of course. I don't want to use the white. I have some red thread. So you're enjoying the felting, Kel? That is something I have not tried. I've seen some lovely felting, and some people do some absolutely incredible felting. Let's just add this to the pile over there. And I think I want to do like a star-shaped kind of thing. Problem with doing a star-shaped thing, your things don't always come out exactly in the middle where you want them, but that's okay. So I just poked a bunch of holes. So I'm going from the center. And again, I'm not tying knots. Am I on camera? I'm not tying knots. I'm just going to hold it down. So I'm just going to go from the center to one of the holes, back through the center, to the next hole. Oh, I'm sure that does get a lot of frustration going. Nope. I need to go back to the center. Next hole. So the reason I'm doing it this way is if I just went across from hole to hole, I find that a lot of times my centers don't line up very nice. So I will do another tour of my yard when all my lilies are blooming. And some of the other flowers. When I was talking to my friend in Quebec this morning, he was laughing because somebody asked him if he had kids, and he says, "No, I have lilies." Love it. Love it. But he's got some incredible lilies. He's got those ones that are like 5 or 6 feet tall, and the flowers. Hey, Brenda, welcome. And the flowers hang down, so that's what are they called? Uh, Turban lilies or something? Can't remember. But they're huge, and they get flowers all the way up the stems. I'm so jealous. He says they smell incredible. So I'm hoping that in the mystery mix I got, that I will have some. Oh, Turk's head. Turk, I don't know. Anyway, I would have some lovely lilies like that. But we shall see. Okay, so I'm snipping the end of the string thread. And again, I am just going to put a dot of glue on. I like to make sure things stay in place. Okay, so I have done the stitching. I have 2 more to go, and then that's 10 prompts on each card. 2 more. So the next one is stamp. A stamp. Do we want like a big fancy stamp? Do we want just little stamps? I'm tempted to go with just little stamps. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some black paint because not everybody's got stamps. Not everybody has stamps. So I'm just going to take a little bit of black paint and I'm going to put it on this lid that I've got sitting here because that's why lids are all over my desk so I can put stuff on them. Let's move this away. Get some of that moisture off of it. That can go over there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, oh, my glasses fell out. Teresa, your glasses turned out really cute. So I have this piece of shelf liner. And you guys know that I use it as a stamp. I use it as a stencil. I use it on the gel plate. It gets used many times, many ways. So I'm just going to dip it in the paint. We don't want it too thick, right? Because we're using it as a stamp. So I'm just going to stamp some off, just so that it's not all through the holes and everything. Just a little bit of wet. And I'm just going to gently press it on, just kind of like making marks with paint. But I'm considering that a stamp. It's kind of fun. You don't need to go out and buy $90 worth of stamps, a $50 ink pad, plus refills. You can use a little bit of paint and anything in your house that makes a pattern as a stamp. Sorry, those of you who sell stamps. I love you. I love your stamps. I use them. But some of us are on fixed incomes. some of us are just starting out. We don't know what we need, what we want, or what we even like. Right? Getting a little carried away with this one, but that's okay. You know what? I like it. I like it. And of course, you don't need to use black. When you use stamps or anything like this, you could use any color of paint that you've got. I just decided I wanted black. Okay, so I will consider this one covered. Oh no, I wanted a little bit more over here. It didn't take quite as well as I wanted it to. There we go. And this one can have a bit more color to it. Okay, and then on this one, I think I want to go kind of down the side. Kind of lining it up, but not quite. So it's kind of like a border, kind of like an edging, you know. The nice thing with using this is it's got the lines in it. So I just sort of lining the lines up. Not overly fussy. Oh, look at that one. I like the way it goes hollow like that. Where it just gives a little outline instead of fills it in. Look, I'm a mucky pup. Surprise! Okay, so for the marble roll, I need to go and get my marbles. I need a little box. And you guys decide on what color paint I should use for the marble roll on these guys. Oh, see, I went out of order. Marble roll was supposed to be before stamp. I'll have to stamp again. Not even following my own rules. Well, how do I expect anybody else to, right? Okay, I'll be right back. Pick a color, any color. And of course, I used my marbles recently and I didn't put them back. Well, now what am I going to do? I have to find my marbles. Kim lost her marbles. Go figure. Um, I actually can say that and not mean like what it normally means. I like it. You guys already thought I lost them, but I get it. I get it. I get it. Where the heck are my marbles? I know I had them. Well, that's just really annoying. I'm sorry, I am still here. I am just looking for my lost marbles. Oh my goodness. If I would have thought about it, but we didn't know what card I was using to begin with. Okay, what can I use instead of marbles? There's some fit rolls. Beads. Maybe I'm gonna just have to use beads. I've got beads. Beads I know. Okay. How about bells? Bells. Okay, so I couldn't find my marbles. They're lost. Oh, you're not round. Oh, sort of round. I wonder if I can get that cap off. I can. Anyway, a marble roll is you roll the paints in some, roll the marbles in paint and drop it on what you're working on and shake it up in a box. And it makes really cool lines and patterns. And I really would rather have the marbles because these aren't going to roll as well as I want. Okay, guys. Any other thoughts of what I could use? Ideas, thoughts? I just had them recently. He just wants to make sure everything's okay. Just checking in, checking up. It's a nice thing. Oh, good. Managed to pull the end off. I could use that. That would make a cute little hat with a tassel on the end. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to use these instead of marbles. That's 2. Let's use 3. Did you guys think of a color I should use of paint to do the marble run? The marble roll? You guys do know as soon as I do this, I'm going to find them, right? They're going to be in the box that I used the last time. I don't even know where that box is. Oh, I'm doing very well today. Thank you. Let's have a craft land behind me. Will you lie flat? You won't lie flat in there. How about I will use this. I'm going to use this as the box to shake it up in. Did we pick a color? Anyone? I need a color. Hello? Anyone, please? Pink. Okay. I have neon pink. Tutti Frutti. Tutti Frutti pink. So I need a spoon to drop the painted bell, because it's now a bell roll instead of a marble. But I think they'll roll pretty good. I just have to shake it up good. And we're going to put this in. How about here? So I can just take this and wash it. You know, crafting at the improv, guys. Crafting at the improv. Oh, big pink booger. Get rid of that. Pink. We have pink. What's that? So I've got pink in a thing. I'm going to put these in and shake them up. Try and get them all covered in paint. I think maybe I want a little bit of water in there. Just so that it covers nicer. This works much better with marbles, let me tell you. First off, these things have glitter glued to them. So it's not picking up the paint as nice as a marble would pick up the paint. Gonna add a little bit more water. Welcome to the improv. So now I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go like this and shake it up. Whoa! Ha! shake it up all over the thing. I'm not looking, so I don't know where it's going. So that's what happens when you do marble rolls. It goes all over the place and gives you wonderful patterns. So that's one. I'll put this one in. Another bell. Is it making a lot of noise, these bells, and shaking them in the plastic? That's 2. And this is 3. Let's take these other 2 out, because I think that other one was a little heavy. 3. This one's a little curled, so it's not going to get on top as often or as much. It's going to go under and over. And oh, I'm sorry. I'm making you guys nauseous. I didn't even think of that. I am so sorry, guys. That was a wild ride. And that's 3. Okay. So that's the marbles. Sort of. I have really mucky fingers. That's okay. So that is our 10 prompts. I said I was going to stamp again, though, because I was supposed to stamp after. But actually, my stamps aren't all covered by the paint, so I could consider it as is. This one's really, really heavy with marbled roll. Some of the stitching got it. That's okay. The flower. Yeah. Definitely. I love the net back scrubbies. I mean, this one, what I could do is I could take this and give it some texture so it's not quite so thick. Just go like this. And it should lift up some of the paint. So it lifted some of the paint, gave it a little bit of texture. It's not quite as heavy. But there we have it. We've got 3 tags, all with the same elements, done differently. I think they're fun. I will come back and doodle on them when the paint is dry. I might add more flowers. I might, as I say, these can be used as backgrounds, and then you can put a focal point on, if that makes sense. Yeah. And that's the big excitement for today, folks. I hope everybody had fun. I hope I inspired you to try something different. If you want another look at the prompt list, we started with number 6, which was bling, then flower, then stencil, then book, edge, outline, watercolor, stitching, marble roll, and stamp. So if anybody, let's put that right up here. So if anybody wants to take a quick screenshot or write them down, I'm off screen. See, it's backwards to me. I'm sorry, guys. Anybody wants to write that down or anything? And if you play, I'd love to see it on Meet Your Creativity or someplace else like that. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you guys being here. I have my grandson for the weekend, so I'm going to call this stream complete. And I will see you guys on Sunday. I don't know what we're doing yet, but I'm sure we can find something fun to do. Thanks, Tina. Have a wonderful few days before Sunday. Appreciate you, and I'll see you around. Thanks, everyone. Bye.